إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا من يهد الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. That's chapter 3 verse 102. It says, "O you who believe, fear Allah by doing all that He has ordered and by abstaining from all that He has forbidden, and as He should be feared. Obey Him, be thankful to Him, and remember Him always, and die not in a state except Islam." Islam is a beautiful religion. You see, when the Quran talks in Surah Nahl chapter 16 verse such and such, it talks about giving dawah with wisdom, inviting to the way with wisdom. But you can do that, and it talks about talking to the people of the book, who's the Jews and Christians. But the Jews and Christians have a foundation. Like Hinduism, they have a foundation. And their foundation is a textbook, which is the book, like the Bible for the Christianity, like Bhagavad Purana and all the other Hindu books, like Jewish book, the Torah, the law. They're all textbooks. But for atheism and agnostics, where is their textbook? Because they generally think or believe exactly what science says. So, in return, you may say that atheism or agnostics don't have a textbook. But thinking of it, they have an imaginary textbook, which is science. Well, not really imaginary. But we can use that textbook for an advantage to give dawah to an atheist or agnostic. Because, let me show you how. If you ask atheist agnostic a question from the Quran, the question with the Big Bang. The creation of the universe is explained by many people in a widely accepted phenomenon, popular known as the Big Bang. It is supported by observational and experimental data gathered by astronomers and others. According to Big Bang, the whole universe was initially one big mass primary nebula. Then there was a Big Bang secondary separation, which resulted in the formation of galaxies. These then divided to form stars, planets, the sun, the moon, and etc. The origin of the universe was unique, and the probability of it occurring by chance is 0. The Quran contains the following verse regarding the origin of the universe. أَوَلَمْ يَرَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا. Do not the unbelievers see, like the agnostic, the atheist, do they not see that the heavens and earth were joined together as one unit of creation, but we clothed them asunder? Chapter 21, verse 30. Now you ask the question to atheist agnostic. Can a man coming from the desert, Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, who is illiterate, don't know how to read or write, can he all of a sudden come up with the idea of the Big Bang just like that? 1400 years ago, when none of this was taught about? The answer is nowhere. You know, I like to read books. That's one thing. But there's this book that's been shocking me by Zakir Naik. It's called The Quran and Modern Science. Compatible or incompatible? Let's read what page 17, 18, and 19 say. This is another miracle to ask your atheist agnostics. It's about the sun rotates. For a long time, Europeans, philosophers, and scientists believed that the earth stood still in the center of the universe, and every other body, including the sun, moved around it. In the West, this geocentric concept of the universe was prevalent right from the time of Ptolemy in the 2nd century BC. In 1512, Nicholas Copernicus put forward his heliocentric theory of planetary motion, which asserted that the sun is motionless at the center of the solar system, with the planets revolving around it. In 1609, the German scientist Johannes Kepler published the nomia nova. In this, he concluded that not only do the planets move in elliptical orbits around the sun, they also rotate upon their axes at irregular speeds. With this knowledge, it became possible for European scientists to explain correctly many mechanisms of the solar system, including the sequence of night and day. That's page 17. Just reading. Consider the following Quranic verse. Al-Quran, chapter 21, verse 33. 2 verses after. Well, 3. It is He who created the night and day, and the sun and the moon. All celestial bodies swim along, each in its rounded course. The Arabic word used in this verse is yasbahun, and the word yasbahun is derived from the word sabaha. It carries with it the idea of motion that comes from any moving body. If you use the word a man on the ground, it would not mean that he is rolling, but would mean he is walking or running. If you use the word for a man in the water, it would not mean that he is floating, but it would mean that he is swimming. Similarly, if you use the word yasba for a celestial body, such as the sun, it would not mean that it is only flying through space, but would mean that it also rotating as it goes through space. Most of the school textbooks have incorporated the fact that the sun rotates about its axis. The rotation of the sun about its own axis can be proved with the help of an equipment that projects the image of the sun on the tabletop so that one can examine the image of the sun without being blinded. It is noticed that the sun has spots which complete a circular motion once every 25 days. Example, the sun takes approximately 25 days to rotate around its axis. In fact, the sun travels through space at roughly 150 miles per second and takes about 200 million years to complete one revolution around the center of our Milky Way galaxy. Now look what the Quran says in Surah 36, verse 40. It is not permitted to the sun to catch up with the moon, nor can the night outstrip the day. Each just swims along in its own orbit according to law. This verse mentions an essential fact discovered by modern astronomy, example, the existence of individual orbits of the sun and the moon, and their journey through space with their own motion. The fixed place towards which the sun travels carrying with it the solar system has been located exactly by modern astronomy. It has been given the name solar epochs. The solar system is indeed moving in space towards a point situated in the constellation of Hercules, Alpha Lyrae, whose exact location is firmly established. The moon rotates around its axis in the same duration that it takes to revolve around the earth. It takes approximately 29.5 days to complete one rotation. One cannot help but be amazed at the scientific accuracy of the Quranic verse. Should we not ponder over the question, what was the source of knowledge contained in the Quran? So you see, this book, it's very shocking when you read some of the miracles. But my question to you is, can a man coming from a desert, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, don't know how to read or write, illiterate, come up with these facts and stuff, just like that? 1,400 years ago. This is not like 50 years ago. 50 years is like nothing in the sight of man. Like with the Big Bang Theory, that's like 50 years ago. 50 years in the time, it's like yesterday. But for 1,400 years, an illiterate man coming with these ideas, it's impossible. But the author of the book is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Not this book, but the Quran. This book right here. And this is to show that this is the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now you ask the atheist these questions, and his mouth will be shut because he can't answer the question. Can a little man do this? The answer is no. There's other miracles I would like to mention, but this will end my subject for today. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, which salam is the essence or the root word of the word salam, which means peace. So I end with the subject with peace. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.